3, 2, 1, go!
I am the lowest. I am the lowest. Now go home and get your shine box.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Wednesday night. Go get your Shinebox podcast. This is Jim. And guys, introduce yourself real quick.
Evening, Jim. This is Paul up in God's country, Northwest New Jersey.
Yep, Joe in central New Germany, coming at you.
Yeah, the usual suspects, but we like to do that for some, new listeners, so they get the gist of what's going on. I'm gonna do a little housekeeping here. We're a little tired tonight for some reason. I don't know what it was. If it was the shrooms or the indulging in all that French champagne last night. I'm not sure. But not to imply that anybody's hungover. I'm just,
well, as it turns out, it was our cocaine. We have to now admit that. It was our cocaine. They found at the White House. And
now that we're talking about the cocaine again, that's been out of the news. I understand that it didn't belong to Hunter. It belonged to Hunter's sister. So, yeah,
all
in the family, I guess.
All I heard was somebody in the family. That's all I heard.
You can't. Yeah, the problem is Joe said, "Ashley, go get me some Coke," and he meant Coca-Cola, and that poor girl can't get she can't get a break,
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if that's true, Joe, but I wouldn't be surprised if they blamed it on her because why not?
Yeah, maybe. I just think it's really pathetic that, the FBI already is worthless piece of shit organization that I have no respect for. And now the CIA is to follow suit.
Oh, I know that hurts.
Pretty pathetic, isn't it? I mean, these are a couple of organizations that I really looked up to over in the past. Yeah. And now I see that they're just shit. So, yeah, great.
Well, it really scares me because we'll get into the topic in a minute, but here's something a little funny. The FBI is the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Basically, it's the United States Police Force, which operates, ironically, well outside the boundaries of the United States. At the same time, we seem to interject ourselves in everywhere, which is funny. Now, this is the part that's a little ironic. The CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, is chartered to work outside. We've mentioned this before, outside the confines of the United States, and their roles are being reversed. Of course, they lie for a living, so you never know what they're doing.
Oh, I have to correct myself. I said the CIA before, and what I meant was the Secret Service.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I mean, the Secret Service, that's who watches over the White House and
the president. You just
right.
Maybe put my freaking neck out on a lot. Not that I'm really worried.
I did, and I realized when you were saying this, I'm like, wait a minute, no, I was wrong.
Well, you might have been wrong, but I was still right.
You're probably still right. I would have to imagine if the FBI is shit and the Secret Service is shit, why wouldn't the CIA be shit too?
Oh boy, it's a shame. It really is because they.
Well, I would say FBI and CIA are shit before Secret Service. Only because I have no evidence. Now, the fact that nobody has dimed out the freaking crime family that we've got in the White House bothers me. But, there is such a thing as doing your job honorably, maybe. I don't know. Well, I probably sound like a child.
I don't know.
I like when you say that because it kind of draws you back from the dark side a lot of times. So we go back and forth between the three of us. We go back and forth. There's a voice of reason, and then sometimes we the pendulum swings. But the fact of the matter is, we've been raised in moral structured environments with parents and respect for law enforcement and J. Edgar Hoover, the cross-dresser. But you know what I'm saying? We saw the OSS become the CIA. We saw the Cold Wars and all that. We went through that. So we have this deep back in your, remember Ronald Reagan, with a shiny city on the hill, whatever. So we have that in our brains.
Yeah, well, go ahead.
And then you get jostled a little bit, and you're like, oh, wait a minute. So but we always go back to our roots and say, come on, there has to be. I'm even saying, oh, come on, the rank and file, right? Rank and file have to be decent, right?
No. Well,
Yeah.
I think I've come to a conclusion, and I think that we've known this for a long time, but I think the problem, well, it's money. And I think that what drives our government or our deep state to destroy us is the military industrial complex. Without war and without conflict, they're not making money. And they don't give a crap about anything in their path as long as they're making war and their policies are driving us that way, and they're making money.
Absolute corruption.
Absolute.
Yeah, and I'll only add this because that's 100% correct, that the corruption has risen with the overall wealth, not just of the United States but the world.
Yeah.
But there's something different going on now. This is, as we've talked about, it's a spiritual war. There is some kind of darkness that has been unleashed, and in particular, in the Democrat Party, they are worshipers of evil.
Yep.
Just seeing how they celebrated today that they're going to be allowed to keep their murdering children in Ohio, to see them cheering and celebrating and mocking us for wanting to change it. These are evil people.
There's no other explanation for that.
Yeah.
They did that. Remember when they did that? Was it the Congress did it a couple of years ago when they did a standing O regarding an abortion ruling?
Right.
What you got to be? I mean, they were talking about late term, and I say late term crowning.
Right. Yes. Remember Northam?
Are you kidding me? They were not. They were talking about afterbirth,
Post-birth abortion.
We'll keep the specimen,
comfortable.
Until the mother decides whether you wanted to put a knife through its head. Come on, that's bizarre.
There is a darkness that's.
Oh yeah. I suppose if you hypothetically, if you snatch that doctor up and put him in a glass box while a panel sat around and decided whether or not he was to live anymore, I bet you he'd change his mind on that. I'm just going out on a limb here.
Just one hopeful thing here, that we are to hate evil. Okay.
Well, I got to say
we are
that
to destroy evil.
You know what, and
we'll leave it at that.
And that's, I'm going to tell you something. This is a little bit of a darkness inside of me that I'm gonna let you guys in on.
I'm not sure I want to hear this.
Yeah, I'm almost like, yeah, go ahead with your abortions, because you people don't deserve to have children anyway, and you're only going to raise them up to be assholes. And so maybe kill all your peeps.
Yeah, and no, and we've had this discussion before. The problem is that we get punished for allowing them to do that.
I know.
If you could need retroactive stuff.
The smod comes for all. Sweet meteor of death.
Yeah.
Comes
waiting for the worms to turn.
Yes.
So all right, let's funny. Let me pull myself out of. Let me pull us out of this darkness.
Yeah, this is getting dark.
Quick shout out. We're gonna skip right over the showers and the fires in the ovens.
Oh, come on.
We have some DNN. So you have a DNN story. So give me a second.
Yes, I do.
Let me do a shout out to Michael Rapino. She's the guy that missed the penalty goal for the women's. Where they still call that the World Cup for the women, right? Yeah, even though only 4 people watched. Yeah, and she. This is the pink-haired guy. I think it's a guy, but she called it
technically a world tampon.
Mitchell or something, but she's the one that put on the Colin Kaepernick face and acted like she's gonna bring America to its knees. And unfortunately, most of America doesn't even know that there is a national female soccer team. And then she gleefully missed the kick. with a big giant smile on her face. And I submit to you.
You call that a miss? Did you call it a miss? She wasn't even in the same neighborhood.
No, like she was playing a different sport, you know. But I submit to you that she did that deliberately, and then she smiled. She never was a great soccer player, and she needed attention, and that's she cut her hair, grew an Adam's apple, and missed the kick. Now she's got all the attention she needs for the next 15 minutes.
And
that's what I'm going to say about her.
Right, and she complained about equal pay, and thus she became famous. Yeah.
So she's no Joan of Arc, let me tell you.
No.
Anyway, so there you have it.
But I've heard that theory that she missed it on purpose. I have my doubts because she's going to be now forever remembered for shanking that.
She did. Yeah, she didn't miss that on purpose because if she would have got that goal, she would have been a hero.
That's perfect. That's right. Yeah.
Anyway, our main topic for tonight is actually we're going to call it Trump versus DeSantis, and not how you think, but we're going to get into a little bit of psychological profiling on this whole DeSantis bashing, the split party deal, and Trump, and what the relationship is on the ticket, and where it's going to go from there. That's basically what we're going to talk about, and a few other things.
Good luck.
Yeah. Well, you want to do that dark news?
Sure, why not?
Live from our very own Dark News Network, it's tonight's feature, Another Dark News.
Now, this one I think I'm going to say is coming from the Darky News Network. It's a story about some boaters down in Alabama. It's a bunch of crackers on a small fishing boat or pleasure boat docked at somewhere in Alabama, and there's another boat, some kind of larger ferry or something coming in, and there's a black dock worker trying to hustle the crackers out of the way. Apparently, there's some words. Whitey gets out of the boat, starts smacking around the black dock worker, and then like those what are those animals over in Africa that jump into the water and cross the river, like wildebeests. A whole bunch of the darkies jump into the water and swim over and start beating on the white guy and his couple of his buddies. So, and then you got the shaboons joining them, grabbing chairs and whacking Whitey over the head and blah, 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 blah. So it was a big deal on the news and all over social media. And, of course, today the story comes out that the three crackers are getting arrested. So all the darkies, I don't know if we're allowed to say that. That's an old-fashioned term, darkies.
I was going to hit the bleep button while you were talking, and then I was thinking, and this is, I'm not even kidding them, thinking, you actually substantially used the same amount of racial slurs on both sides.
Yeah,
maybe more.
I mean,
you might have said cracker a little bit more.
All right. Well, so anyway, the crackers got arrested, and the Negroes didn't.
Well,
and they're all over media now making threatening sounds against Whitey. They're going to rise up and kill us, and blah 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 blah.
Well, it's apartheid. You gotta fight apartheid. Fight the man. Fight the power. You ain't fighting the power no more.
Where were the alligators?
Yeah. Where were the worms?
Because when the wildebeests cross in Africa, there's always alligators there. It takes a few of them.
Well,
right. Of course, where are the alligators when you need them, right?
If you notice, the wildebeests all hang around the edge, and they all look at each other.
Right, and they wait for the first guy to get taken by an alligator.
Who's going first?
All right, he's busy. Let's go.
So the point of the moral of the story is the victims are now the problem. They are now the problem.
Yeah,
so, we're seeing this more and more, and we'll bring it to you. And we'll bring it to you as we see it, and we may or may not continue to do the 1960 racial slur thing.
All right. Well, let me throw up one without racial slurs. I'll just add this one on. There was an Antifa story. Antifa. By the way, I used your Antifa on Twitter the other day. I'll have to show it to you.
I need credit for that.
This reporter got his ass beat by a bunch of Antifa. They just had the trial yesterday, I think it was.
Yeah.
And they refused to indict these people. And the defense attorney looked right at the jury and said, "I am Antifa." Well, she said, "I am."
Oh yeah, right.
And I'm going to remember every one of your faces.
Wow.
And lo and behold, it was an acquittal.
Yeah.
Because we don't
Really?
have a real justice system anymore.
No.
We have a
listen,
system where if you have a legitimate threat against the jury, they will do what you want. Let's see Derek Chauvin.
Could you imagine if you tried that?
Yeah.
They would lock your ass up forever.
Well, I'm a big fan of not telling people what your intentions are.
Right.
You know?
I got another news story. Yeah. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah.
I will just point this out that he is not an official member of the Dark News Network until I hear what the story is.
Okay.
The story is the CIA still hasn't determined which one of the family members is responsible for the cocaine.
Hold on. Stop. Hold the tape. The Secret Service.
Oh, did I say the CIA?
Yes.
You're messing with my boys. The Secret Service.
I'm sorry. The Secret Service still hasn't figured out which one of the family members is responsible for the cocaine.
Or they're keeping it secret.
They're going to keep at it, and hopefully will be able to give us who's responsible. Well, it's leaning towards
Ashley.
It's leaning towards Ashley. It looks like Ashley might be the scapegoat on this one, but we'll see.
I am fairly confident that New York Times, Washington Post, and CNN are going to be all over it, and get to the bottom. get to the bottom of this story. Oh boy!
Yeah, absolutely. So we don't want to be the ones that break the news, but I believe you're right, Joe. I think Ashley's taking a fall for this one. The poor girl.
Yeah.
All right, then. That's enough for my dark news.
Oh man. Okay. Little known story. I don't know if it's a little known story or it's a big known story, but I think Hannity was pushing this jive about what's his name? I call him Gary, but I think his real name is what's his name? Gavin or some
Newsom.
Yeah, Newsom and DeSantis debate.
Nuisance, Gary Nuisance.
Yeah, the Gary Nuisance and DeSantis debate. And I'm going to start with this. This is just a little part of my theory here. First of all, that's being thrown out there right now. Newsom isn't even on anybody's ticket. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
But
DeSantis,
he's coming though.
But the point is, right now he's not. So, and DeSantis is the second. He's the heir apparent. Put it that way, and we're going to get into that in a second. He's the heir apparent to the Republican nomination. Why? If anybody knows why, he should be debated. He's a governor, of course. He's a governor, but he's also a forerunner. Why on earth would he do a debate with Gavin Newsom? It doesn't make any sense. They're trying to do this governor for governor thing. Now, if it was the ticket, of course.
Right, but it's not the ticket.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I don't see any
You are
plus
correct, sir.
here. You know what I mean? This can only be negative. There's no, even if he defeats him, it's not a win. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean?
Right.
Well,
Right.
there's absolutely nothing to be gained from this whatsoever. For of Newsom, yes, because all he needs is a soundbite.
Well,
and all he
Newsom's
needs
the one who challenged him, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. And he knows. Of course, he knows. He's slick. He knows that.
Yeah.
But that's part and parcel what the actual psychological operation is here, and this is the important part.
I don't think DeSantis is. I think he's too smart to take the bait. We'll see.
Well, I hope so, but this is what he has behind him, and it's a negative. Donald Trump is obviously, we all know, where he stands, but we also know that he's got, ungodly amount of legal problems right now. we're not even going to get into the fact that it's all BS. It doesn't matter. We all know that. I have to be a little dark here. Nobody cares. Okay. And when I say nobody cares, the DC prosecutors don't care. The special counsel doesn't care. The jury in DC certainly isn't going to care. So none of that matters. All that matters is he has legal problems. There is a possibility that Trump doesn't make it. For whatever reason, he doesn't get on the ballot. Nobody's discussing that. Everybody, the Trump people, the MAGA people, whatever you want to call them, they're all like, oh no, Trump's got this. They all have the agenda set, and he won. He's going to win, and then martial law is going to take place, and he's going to be the king for the rest of our lives. Whatever, that's cool. The fact that the matter is, if he doesn't, that's what we need to be discussing. If he doesn't, then Ron DeSantis is the guy to step up. Right. And if you notice, somewhere along the line, the MAGA America, the Trump supporters, of which I'm one, as far as Trump support. But I mean, I know, like we always discuss this. This isn't a Trump thing. This is an America First thing. Trump just happens to be carrying the torch right now.
Right.
So somewhere, somehow, some deep, dark psychological operation is taking place, and they have separated and split what we seem to think is the MAGA Trump supporter party. Now I'm reading on social media, Ron the traitor, and this sanctimonious stuff, and this split is going on. So my question to you guys is, what happens? And this is a hypothetical; it's a theory. What happens when Trump doesn't get on the ticket?
That's
for
that's a tough
DeSantis.
one. I'll tell you what I think. Trump.
Yeah.
You hear everybody complaining about cult of personality, and you can't avoid that. Trump has the X factor, some kind of magic about him, and that's why he won in 2016. That's why he got so many more votes in 2020. Obviously the fortification overcame that, but that was all bullshit. That was all fake ballots and fake signatures and bullshit. Legal shit. DeSantis, for all his, policy wonkishness, he's not going to bring in that extra, 5 million or whatever that comes with Trump. So if it's not Trump, then it's done. Not only that, but the
Wait. So hold back up. If it's not Trump,
if Trump doesn't make it, then the Democrat party wins in 2024.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Because there's a second part to my study.
All right.
And that's going to tie in with what Paul just said.
Okay.
The second part of the study is, I don't believe, and I want some big names to start talking about this. I don't believe this separation in the polls between Trump and DeSantis is organic. I believe that's a psychological. It's psyops. It's 101. It's what it is. I don't believe that's true. What I believe the left is doing, like they did with J6 and everything else they touch, I believe that they're manufacturing that separation because they are counting. Because you know how they think. They think Trump's going to jail. They think he's going to Gitmo and he's going to spend the rest of his life with a prayer mat. That's what they really think, because that's what they want. That's what they think. They're visualizing it, and they know that DeSantis is the heir apparent. So they are in the midst of making that separation so wide and causing the Trump faction, to demonize DeSantis so much now that there's going to be vapors by the time this happens. And it's going to be so late in the game that nobody's going to be able to, even including DeSantis, he's not going to be able to pick up the pieces now and start a real campaign. It's going to be that late in the game. This is being timed beautifully. I would be really surprised if I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's tough to tell, and by the way, it goes both ways. All the DeSantis people are really gang banging Trump supporters and Trump.
And again, but, those are those anti-Trumpers that have been rallied.
But and I went through and I looked at all of DeSantis's donors.
Mm-hmm.
And there's, a couple of big PACs. Most of his money is left over from the 2022 election, 80 something million. But unfortunately, I don't know enough about all the names. These are, they're big names.
Yeah.
Some of them in Florida, some of them in California. And I don't know if these are just, because a lot of big companies, they're going to donate to both parties. And then that's the way the uniparty bullshit works.
Yeah. Cover your bases. Yeah.
And
Right.
that's a strike against DeSantis if that is true, because
Right.
to me,
And even if
Well,
he's a
how do we get a message across to these knuckleheads
That's not gonna happen.
that they need to work together,
I-
not against each other?
we don't have that kind of power, but we can tell our listeners, and like me, I'm just chilling. Yeah, I don't tend to get involved in the thing, although some of it's funny, like the thing he did with Christie.
yeah. Yeah.
Somebody shouted out, "He's a fat pig,"
No, he isn't.
and I said, "No." I defended him. No, he's not a fat pig. Hopefully, he's grateful. Hey, Trump is just so good at this. And the DeSantis, the DeSanctimonious. When I heard that and people complaining that, what does that even mean? I could see it right away. He wanted to go after DeSantis, but he didn't want to be too harsh. Well, it's gotten worse with, Ron not coming to stand up when they did the Mar-a-Lago thing. And again, he came out and shot his mouth off about the 2020 election being
Right.
legit.
Well, that's it. Yeah,
He's toast.
And these are sound bites too that are going to haunt him throughout the
Right.
throughout his.
He is not national level material.
But
So
understand
whether it's astroturfed, which I have no doubt that there are people in there trying to spin up both sides, because that's what they do. That's a classic. This is CIA shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think that you guys are really got your, I don't know,
It's on
what
straight.
radar. Yeah. First of all, here's what's going to happen. Just
it's Rondar.
you heard it from me. First of all, Biden's not going to is not going to be running for president again. Okay. He's out. Okay.
What does that got to do with anything?
Well, this is going to change a lot of things up. He's out. They're not going to get Trump. Trump's not going out. Trump will be running for president next term, and he's going to be running against most likely Gavin Newsom. So that's pretty much where it's going to end up. Remember, you heard it here, and then you're going to look back in a few months and you're going to be like, damn, he was right. Yeah, I was.
Dude, you're really going out on a freaking limb there.
I got to say,
Yeah.
I need to say this because I think everybody needs to know right off the bat how I feel about this. If you're right, Joe, the show inclusively will take credit for that. If I'm right with my theory, I'm taking solo credit.
All right.
Okay.
Just want you to know that that's how
I mean,
that's how
Is that how that works?
Yeah. Yeah.
you
So
know, if you're watching the media, you're noticing the story on Ukraine is changing. There are questions coming out in mainstream outlets like New York Times, WAPO, Newsweek. Remember, I sent you that thing from Newsweek. The headline: Does Ukraine have compromise on Joe Biden? Can you imagine a left-leaning news outlet putting that in a headline?
about
Do
time.
they have compromise on Joe Biden?
Right.
Well, listen, we have the dirt on Joe Biden. It's public knowledge.
Yes,
of how
my
corrupt
point is
and how
they can't do this overnight. All right, they have to turn the ship slowly and run the SS Biden into a iceberg down the road here before whoever Newsom most likely.
Listen, and here's another prediction. Okay, because now I'm going to get back to the CIA. Okay, now I'm not going to get him confused, but these organizations, they've got special what do you want to call it, methods,
Access,
stuff like that. Joe Biden, he's old, right? So if he were to have a heart attack, or drop dead like overnight, these things could happen.
If you got Arkansas,
These
things could happen. I'm just saying,
Yeah, I'm sure there's more than one plan already. Now, for them to say some white nationalists killed Joe Biden, I wouldn't put it
Oh
past them.
no. This will be natural. This will be natural causes.
Well, I'm going to point out
Maybe.
that there is a precedent already set in this country for, shall we say, secret government agencies killing presidents. Oops! Did he say that out loud?
Oh, like JFK. Oh,
It was the Russian guy. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. We won't say his name. We'll just give you his initials.
Yeah.
Oh man. So
Well,
One of them
you know,
three-letter dudes.
listen, we're in some times like I would have never thought in a million years when we were growing up
I
that we
know.
would ever see times like this today.
I know. Let me just let me grab a piece real quick. I'm going to read this from. This is from Steve Dietz. I think that's how to pronounce it on Twitter regarding some of the stuff we're talking about. I'm just going to grab a couple of quick lines that he said. As all of us hopefully agree that one of the two guys that we were just talking about has to raise their game in such a time as this, even if we're not going to agree which guy that is, because this is a must-win election, no exceptions. 2024 is win or go home. So one of these two guys has to be our general, basically, is what he's saying, given the level of evil on all our front doorsteps. So that's what's got to happen. So we have a couple different theories running, and we will see. We will see. It's inevitable that something will come to fruition.
Before we
Can I ask
continue,
another
I want to
question?
throw up something about what Joe just said.
Wait, I got to ask a question before you go into that.
No, this is important.
All right, go ahead.
Because otherwise it gets further away from what you just said about the times we're living in. And this is from Mike Cernovich on Twitter. If you're not following Mike Cernovich, you're an idiot. He can see around corners. He's one of those dudes.
It's X.
Yeah,
Dude, the proper nomenclature is X.
I'm having trouble speaking that language, but he says you need to be reading Pyotr Wrangel. He's a Russian guy from turn of the century, studying the Spanish Revolution. America is not like the fall of Rome. It's like the Bolshevik takeover of Russia and resulting horrors. It's the churches being burned down by communists in Spain. You need to be readying yourselves. And he's put out a few tweets like this, and he's 100% correct. The times that are coming are going to be unlike any this country has ever seen. And nobody is ready for it.
No, I agree with that.
Now you can go ahead with whatever you
I just want to know who Victoria is.
Victoria.
Beckham?
Newland?
Yay! Who is she? Was she elected?
Victoria.
No, she was just promoted to assistant secretary of state. That's
You mean she's not
Newsom.
She's not an elected official? We didn't elect her?
Newland?
You're talking about Newland. Yeah, there
It's
you
like,
go.
it's like promoting Satan from water boy to freaking head coach or assistant coach. Oh,
Well, Obama gave the order. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
well, that's where she's
Biden.
from. Even before that, I think. But she is sick. She is.
How could some sick woman that should be home taking care of babies at most?
Oh no,
have so mu-
no! She ain't that kind of woman.
Oh,
No. I gather.
it is, man.
This is the kind of woman who's throwing babies into the volcano, man.
Right. This is a sick person,
Yeah,
right?
it
there.
is.
She's bad news.
And she's got some
She's
kind
the
of.
one who was behind the color revolution in Ukraine back in 2014. Everywhere something bad is happening,
Yeah.
she's either been there yesterday or on her way.
Yeah, follow the money, because I bet you she gets a lot of freaking money from people that make weapons.
I think we should
Yeah.
drop her in Iraq somewhere.
Yeah,
See if she can make it out.
she could. Yeah, well, she can't make it out of D.C. if she had a map in two hands. So that's not that she's that kind of sacrificial type. She's the one that's that is more than happy to send your kids off to war.
Yes.
When Biden was up on this little platform bragging about fire the prosecutor, she's up there. One of the people that she thanked was Victoria.
Yeah, unbelievable.
That she brought up. I mean, these people are. Listen, if you're a Democrat, if you're a freaking left winger, and you can't see the corruption and the evil, just put a gun to your head and pull a trigger, because that's
ouch. Yeah. Hey, check this out. We were going to jump into some of this gag order stuff that's going on with Trump, because everything we talk about has to mix in with this witch hunt, whatever you want to call it. And I got this cool montage, and I stole it, so I'm not going to take credit for it. I won't tell you whose podcast I stole it from, but I don't know if that's legal or not. Hey, it's fair use. But I'll set it up real quick for you. It is the news clips over the Trump era talking about all the stuff that he supposedly did, which we know, the proof is out there that none of this actually happened, but it's overlaid with some other people talking about this as Biden. So if you listen to the clip, the mainstream media is going, it's this incessant, constant barrage of what Trump impeach, impeach, he should be out, all this other stuff. When in fact, this is exactly what Biden is doing as we speak. So it's kind of cool. So check it out. It's a little long, but it's worth it.
President Biden may have been caught up in an influence peddling scheme involving his son Hunter.
You have someone close to a politician selling potential access to the president of the United States.
When Biden was vice president, his son Hunter was given a high-paying position on the board of Burisma, a Ukrainian energy company. Sources allege Hunter was selling access to his father, which is known as influence peddling.
He goes to Ukraine, he hooks up with these people, they pay him a lot of money.
This is selling access, selling influence. I know the president, therefore pay me money.
A system of direct presidential influence peddling unrivaled in modern American politics.
If your last name wasn't Biden, do you think you would have been asked to be on the board of Burisma?
I don't know. Probably not. Shortly after, then Vice President Biden threatened to withhold money to Ukraine unless that country's government fired Viktor Shokin, a prosecutor who was investigating Burisma, the company where Hunter Biden worked.
I look at it, minimum 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a got fired.
Biden claimed he wanted Shokin fired due to concerns about corruption, but legal experts say that doesn't pass the smell test.
This dedicated, heartfelt corruption buster. I mean, they really led with that. Does anyone believe that for a second?
Even if he was, it wouldn't excuse the fact that he withheld the money and put in danger our national security and that of Ukraine, an ally.
Is the president taking bribes, for instance? Seems like squarely the kind of thing that you want to know.
You can imagine a president taking bribes to end an investigation. Of course, that's against the law.
That's an impeachable offense. Our founders used the words high crimes and misdemeanors. This Ukraine situation is exactly that.
So if you check that out, if you got the gist of what's happening, the commentary was from when Trump was in power, but the actual facts are Biden today.
Right.
It lines right up with the Bidens.
You're well aware of this. You accuse the enemy of what you're actually doing.
Sure, and there, if you can't see that or hear that as clear as a bell, I don't know what to tell you. There it was. It was exactly. I believe that is an actual example of juxtapositioning.
Yeah.
So rather than the misused.
And the same thing with he's Orange Hitler, he's a dictator, and it turns out that Joe Biden is the most authoritarian guy since, I don't know, maybe Lincoln, maybe even worse. I don't know. They have destroyed every institution, burned everything down in the quest for power. There's another story. Came out this afternoon. The special counsel obtained a search warrant for Donald Trump's deleted tweets. They went after Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Musk wouldn't give it to him. So the judge found him in contempt and fined him $350,000.
Which is an arbitrary number.
And forced him to turn over the...
How do you hand over something that's been deleted?
Not only that, but how can they go after his tweets? Or for phone records or whatever? I mean, or
based-
his attorney's records.
Yeah.
Or, you know, we don't have.
Did
we don't have
Elon
a
actually
law
turn him
anymore.
over?
What's
Did
that?
Elon turn him over?
He was forced to turn him over.
I told him. I told Elon earlier. I spoke to him. I said you should have consulted with Hillary Clinton on that.
Yeah.
We wiped them. They were wiped with a rag.
Man alive! If you're a left wing lunatic, brain damaged Democrat, and this is still good for you, you deserve everything you're gonna get, because the hammer's gonna come down hard, and I'm gonna stand there and I'm gonna laugh.
Well, yeah, you're right, Joe. I read that the Twitter thing that Paul's talking about, and I was like, that's it. That we're start taking your money, putting it somewhere, getting gold, get a cachet all over the place. Start archiving your documents, because if they could do this to a former president, I mean, this is way beyond persecution.
Yeah,
this is a humiliation. It is really, really sick.
And don't think he's kidding, and don't think I'm kidding when I say make sure you've got a passport. And if you
passport, we need a passport for it
to get the heck out of here.
What do you mean? What for? If you have any ability to, find friends or family or like-minded people in another country, look into it and make at least preliminary plans, because they're going to be coming after, we know who, Republicans, Christians, conservatives of all stripes.
Well, I will say, and I hope we don't ever have to test this theory. If Biden or whatever the idiot that wins the Democrat gets in, I'm looking for a dual citizenship somewhere else, because this is going to be, the SWAT trucks will be coming up and down your streets. Because that's the litmus test. They will take a win as a what's that word? A referendum.
Well, and let's not even throw this off the table. We're not guaranteed to have an election in November.
No, it's true. And while we're at it, even if Trump or DeSantis wins, there's no guarantee that that's going to be successful either. Look at the 4 years of Trump.
Yeah, well, they would unleash, BLM and Antifa. Yeah. It would be times 10.
And I'm not going to say what I'm thinking after that, but anyway.
Yeah,
we'll probably look into the gag order. It's coming out Friday. I don't know what they're calling it, some order of protection or some nonsense. But this scumbag piece of crap lesbian judge in D.C. Is out of control, and if he can't talk about it, we can.
Keep in mind, if any more bad news comes out about Biden, I'm pretty sure the Georgia's going to drop an indictment about an hour later.
Yeah, it's in their vest pocket. He's getting ready.
Yeah.
So. All right, guys.
Perfect.
Have a good night. Thanks for listening, everybody. We are Go Get Your Shinebox podcast on your favorite podcast channel and YouTube and Rumble. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week.
Have a good night. Tell your people you love them.
Central New Germany out.